right, welcome back. This video is an introduction to using AcuPower points for radiant health, joy, and pleasure. So we will cover the basics of acupressure, as well as how to use our main tools, our thumbs and fingers, our elbows, any parts on our body. In a subsequent video, I will talk about using tools like chopsticks, teishin, other things that we can use to apply more pressure. So for now, all you need are your lovely hands and your body, and we'll get started. So you might know a little bit about acupressure, or you might know nothing, but it has been relatively trendy for the last 30 or 40 years. It was introduced here in the United States around the 70s was when it kind of became popular, and it was a very sort of cut and dry method of using acupressure. In my method, in Balanced Elements, you actually learn to identify your own patterns and to choose the appropriate points accordingly. So we're not just dealing with a sort of, one-size-fits-all protocol, although we will have those available as well. But throughout this course, you will also learn how to really customize your AcuPower sessions so that you can make the most of them. And so as we go along, I will be referring to various acupuncture points or acupressure points. I call them AcuPower points because they really do help us to recharge our battery, to balance our nervous system, our circulatory system, our myofascial system, really making it able so that we can bring more power into our body. So when I'm referring to these points, I will most often be using their organ name or myofascial pathway name, which will be things like stomach, spleen, liver, kidney, and we'll go through what all of those pathways are, as well as how to really use them most effectively. But for now, I just want to show you how to apply acupressure to yourself using your fingers and thumb. Okay, so one of the most common AcuPower points that we tend to use is called large intestine 11. So if you hold your arm out in front of you, thumb up towards the sky, the top of this mound here, if you press into it, it often will have a nice tender spot, especially if you have any digestive issues or inflammation in your intestines or anywhere in your body, really. Or if you use your hands, do a lot of typing, a lot of scrolling, whatever it is. This muscle, especially with the thumb use, you can see it kind of moving when I move my thumb. It will be affected by that as well. So we're going to be working that point, and we're going to use the tip of our finger or the tip of the thumb to just press into it, right? That's the most simple way of going about it. So I'm just going right in on the top of that mound and pressing in and holding. And I'm looking for that juicy little nugget that feels tender. And if it's not there, I can kind of feel around, can move back and forth across the muscle, finding any crunchy bits or tender bits. And if there's none, that's great. You can still press in there to help balance that pathway if that has been shown to be a pathway that is part of your pattern that needs support. But more likely than not, you're going to find at least a little something in there to work with. So you can either press straight into it, that juicy little nugget. You can make little tiny circles. Now there's a whole thing about which way to go with your circles. For now, I wouldn't worry about it. Just go with what feels right. Trust your instincts. Our bodies are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. We can also roll back and forth, so that works with some types of muscles. This is a long, skinny muscle that we can easily roll back and forth across. And you can use your thumb, your finger, you can actually even squeeze it. Now, squeezing on this muscle, it's going to be hard to get into that juicy little nugget, but it's a great opportunity just to kind of break things up in there, especially if you have a lot of crunchy bits, and smooth it out. Okay, so that was just an example of one AcuPower point. As we go along, I will be showing you protocols where we're working with AcuPower points in an area, as well as massage in that area, kind of a whole combination. Sometimes we'll be working with multiple myofascial meridians or myofascial pathways at once, and then stopping to work on specific points as we go. So there's a lot of variety in this method. And like I said, a lot of it is intuitive. So it's about reconnecting with your body, reconnecting with your inner wisdom. So go with it, feel around, see what feels good, see what's tender, and use the techniques that I show you to help you hone in on what you can really do to help yourself move into radiant health, joy, and pleasure.